to this month's Digital Department Update, Music and Art. I'm Shelley Grenugger. I am the Director of Alumni Relations here at CARA. And I just want to remind everyone that we are recording today's Zoom, and it's going to be uploaded on our CARA YouTube channel if you would like to rewatch it or share it with friends. I encourage you to use the chat function to say hi, let everyone know that who is here, your major and graduation year, or if you're just related to the campus another way, let us know. To use that chat function, you're going to click on that word bubble at the bottom. Make sure that you change your responses to all attendees so we can all see them. If you have a question for Dr. Haley Armstrong in band, for Dr. Gerrit Scheepers in choir, or for Matt Whitehead in art today, enter those in the Q&A button down below, and we will read those off at the end of their presentation. So I would like to welcome you all, and I'd like to introduce Dr. Haley Armstrong, our band director here at Mines. So I will let you take it away, Haley.
Thanks so much, and hello to everyone. We're really excited. We are having a great year, so it's kind of fun to be on the front end of getting to talk about, our center here, and kind of, we're calling this the state of the arts, because it's going to be sort of all of the artistic endeavors that we have at Mines right now. To start off, we just wanted to do a quick introduction. I know I see some familiar names on the list, but there's also some that I don't know. And so I am Dr. Haley Armstrong, Director of Bands and Coordinator of Musical Activities here at School of Mines. I'm originally from Sonora, California. And then I did a bunch of music degrees and taught public school, and then actually kind of did a right turn and became one of the conductors and commanders of the Air Force bands all over the world. I was stationed in Tokyo. And then right before coming here, I was in DC doing a lot of music with them, and then realized I missed teaching and I love teaching. And so I was lucky enough to land this wonderful job at School of Mines. And along with my the things I do here, which you're going to hear about, I also out in the community, I'm the new president-elect for the Black Hills Symphony Orchestra board, and I do play with them occasionally, and just working a lot kind of in the community with our teachers and all of our music educators that we have around here. So it's been great. This is year 7. I can't even believe it, but it's great still getting assimilated into this community and here in the beautiful Black Hills. And then my new counterpart, so brand new this year, we have a new director of choirs, and so I'm going to have him introduce himself as well, and that's Dr. Gerrit Scheepers, and he's going to talk right now.
Thank you. My name is Dr. Gerrit Scheepers, and I'm originally from South Africa, but I've spent about almost the last decade in the US in different places, doing my graduate work and also teaching at college level. I have a master's in conducting from Missouri State University, and then my doctorate is from the University of Washington in Seattle, all the way in the Pacific Northwest. This is my first year, as Dr. A mentioned, at South Dakota Mines. I'm really excited to be here. I've most recently moved from Cape Town, South Africa, and prior to my year back in South Africa, I taught for 2 years at IUP, Indiana University of Pennsylvania. I was the director of choral studies there and taught choral conducting and directed the choirs. Currently here at South Dakota Mines, I teach 3 choirs, our 3 choirs we have. And I also teach MES 117 and 317, which I alternate with every semester with my colleague, Dr. A. And we'll talk a little bit more about that later in the presentation. But I think that's it in a nutshell. Back to you, Dr. A.
Thanks. We're so glad you're here. And then he's been around for a while, and while we could talk about music forever and ever and ever, I really wanted to include our other artistic colleague on here, Master Matthew Whitehead, and he coordinates all of our art activities. And so Matt, take it away.
Hi, yeah, my name is Matthew Whitehead, and I moved here. I'm fairly new to Rapid City. I moved here about 4 years ago now. And before here, I was in Gainesville, Florida, where I went to University of Florida to get my master's, and then was teaching at Santa Fe College there, teaching all sorts of art classes, but eventually running the photography program there. And now I teach the visual art classes here and manage the Apex Gallery. And I'll talk more about that stuff in a little bit. But another thing that I do in the community, I am the president of the Rapid City Arts Council, which oversees the Doll Art Center. And I also am the vice president at my PTA, at my kids' school. And that's that.
Thanks, Matt. All right, I'm going to share my screen now, but please, let us know if you have questions as we go. Let's make sure it goes through. All right, can you all see our wonderful slides? Okay, so again, we're just doing a little bit of a check on everything that's been going on the arts side of the thing. We're going to start with music. And so here's our list of stuff, but I also love this picture. So this picture was actually 2018, and you can see some familiar faces from some of our alumni in there as well. And this wasn't even our whole department at the time, but you'll see on a future slide that we've kept growing and changing. But it was neat to get all parts of the music center together and united for something like this. And since then, we've actually combined for concerts and a lot of other things too as well. And so I'm proud of things like this where we're becoming a full center and really growing and moving. And our faculty, so you've met Dr. Scheepers. Miss Tammy Schnittgrun has been our orchestra teacher for, oh gosh, he told me 15, 20 years. She's a staple in our community. She's an adjunct professor. If you have been following her career, she actually became the director at Stevens High School with their orchestra in the last few years, and is doing wonderful things out there as well. She's a Rapid City alum, grew up here and came back after college. And so we're so grateful to have her helping with the string side of our orchestras. And then also exciting at the bottom, Miss Andrea Hara. She is our new music administrator. So she's half-time with us, and then she's also half-time over in humanities and social sciences. And it's just wonderful to have some support, especially with the amount of classes and the amount of students that we have now. And so we're really, really glad that she's on board as well. And then these are our numbers. So the chart on the left is actually all the numbers for the last 10 years. You can kind of see growth. The green number is the program in total. Blue is bands, red is choirs, and orange is orchestra. And then the actual data on the right, I just took since I've been here because not everything would fit, but it kind of gives you a picture of where we've been since fall of 2016. And you can see, we've had some changes and some moves. The pandemic, when we really were at the beginning of the height of COVID, we did have a dip there as we tried to do unique things to keep music going. We found out during that time, we've always known that our students gravitate towards the arts and love music and the arts as a component of their education. And what we found during the COVID times is they needed it even more, because a lot of times this was a break from all the stresses of all the changes that we were all going through. And even though music and art looked a little different, we really didn't have as big of a dip as many of our colleagues across the nation. And then the best part of it is coming out in the last 2 years, we are really starting to feel the renaissance of people wanting to come back and be a part of these communities again. So things are going good. It's exciting. We're, almost at 300 again, and going to be tapping that very, very, very quickly. I wouldn't be surprised if that stayed up there. And then if you can also see community, faculty, and staff, we have some community members that have played with us for years and years and years. And I also love, we have some steadfast community or faculty members. And it's always fun because after a rehearsal, they'll stay and play on the whiteboards with their math professor, and there'll be a huddle of everybody working on math things, and I'm just sitting in the background staring at how amazingly smart they all are. But it's neat that they see their professors still doing arts and music that they love, because they're going to grow up and be the future engineer and hopefully keep playing and contributing. So that's really exciting. So that's how our numbers are. And then we have some upcoming events. We can send this out as part of our kind of follow email. The ones in yellow are the public events, regular concerts, our dinner dance, and stuff like that. And so I'm actually going to turn it over to Dr. Scheepers to kind of explain the difference between the different events, but also how to tune in and watch if you're interested and not maybe in the area.
So as Dr. A mentioned, we have a couple of upcoming events that are open for the public. Those are in yellow. So most of our events are open to the public, and most of them are live streamed as well. You have the option of to live stream the concert or to tune into live streaming. Some of them is a little bit more challenging, just depending on the venue. We don't have the options of live streaming. All of them are obviously, you're able to attend in person. You need to reserve for most of them tickets. Tickets are free, but you do have to reserve a ticket to attend the concert. She also did mention the link on the right, and we'll get this out to you. We do our live streaming on Facebook. So just by clicking on the Facebook link on that page, all our concerts will be live streamed. So we have two, well, I should say the first upcoming event is Fantasy and Fright, which is October 21st. It's a Friday. We would love for you to join us. And this one will be at the Music Center, and it will be live streamed. And we're very excited for that. The theme is monsters and legends. And then we have several for the rest of the semester. We have, Orchestra and Honors Brass concert. We have the Fall Band concert on November 18th. And then I think the only one this semester that's not on campus, but off campus, are the annual Holiday Cathedral concert, which is in the cathedral in Rapid City. And we're really excited about that. That's just mostly just choirs, and we'll have some instrumentalists joining us on that concert. And then in the spring semester, we have the Dinner and Dance. We have our Spring Battle of the Bands, which is in April usually. And then towards the end of the semester, the spring semester, we usually have our choir concert where all the choirs will get together again and give a concert. All the events in the spring will be here on campus in the Music Center. Aha, as you can see, we are returning to international travel. So we are hoping to go overseas in the spring semester of 24. That will be in May, mid to end May. And we are opening this up to alumni as well, recent alumni. And basically anybody can join that has been part of the music program. We'll take both vocal students, choir students, as well as instrumentalists. And we will do like a joint tour where we will do outreaches to wherever we are planning to go. So be on the lookout. I think pretty soon, within the next month or two, we will make an announcement of where we'll be traveling. And yeah, just follow us for updates on where to sign up and all of that lovely detail. Awesome. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the classes we offer. So the option for taking ensembles for credit has been around for a while. It's just so awesome that we can, have a group of students together from all the ensembles and, dig into some awesome stuff. So I'm first going to talk about MUS 117 that you see there. That's an introduction to music theory. And like I've mentioned, it's offered every semester, and then we alternate it. So one semester I teach, and then the other semester Dr. A will teach that. And it's just so awesome to, for one semester, dig in and discuss, a topic. We usually discuss one topic per semester and just do it in depth for a couple of weeks and just explore music theory world and just, up the general level of music theory skills in our students. So the other cool thing is that I should mention is this class can also be used to fulfill your Gen Ed 4 credit, the humanities credit, which is pretty awesome. And then I'm going to skip over 317. Dr. A will talk about that. I'm just quickly going to mention the non-credit. It's pretty awesome. You can also sing in the ensembles for non-credit. That's MUN 260. So we have actually quite a few students that are taking multiple ensembles at the same time throughout their entire time here at South Dakota Mines. And then they will alternate, taking for credit or non-credit. We also have students that have been taking MUS 117 their entire time that they're here. So it's really, it's your journey. You can decide, how many credits you want to take, or you just want to enjoy and not worry about any, credits and just have fun in the ensembles. It's really up to you how you plan out your journey. And I should mention, we also audition for all the ensembles every semester. So you can change that midway through the year. Every semester you can decide, whether you want to take for credit or not, swap around, join, rejoin. That is the pretty cool thing. You can really, depending on your credit load of your other classes, you can decide, how heavy you want to go into the music and or how light. So yeah, I think that's about it from my side.
Great. Thanks, Dr. Scheepers.
Mhm.
And then the other course we offer is 317. And our students have really, it's neat because there's lots of ways for them to fill different needs that they have as far as graduation requirements. And then also the fact that the university supports that 0 credit class so that future employers see that they're still, being artistic and staying involved. We talk a lot about how to use music to land the perfect job, as something to start the interview topics and all of that. And then 317 is actually our upper division humanities course. And these students are all still playing in their ensembles, but then we do a topic with them as well. And it's normally around 10 students. And it's neat because these are juniors and seniors. They've been in our programs for a while. And so the topics have ranged from, we did one that was on, best songs, worst songs, and the power of preference. And we talked about, whose favorite songs and why it matters. And then that transitioned into a semester on creative leadership where we did some improv. And then we also looked at kind of some business models about leaders and how you need to think outside of the box sometimes. And then this semester, I'm having a blast because we're actually doing an entire series on sacred, secular, and sacrilege. So it's sacred music kind of throughout time, secular music throughout time. And then we're ending with a little bit of Weird Al and a little bit of Saturday Night Live and talking about how breaking the rules can happen. And then we're partnering with the Monument. They've done an expansion, and so they're able to bring in some pretty amazing touring casts of Broadway shows. And so the entire class is going to get a chance to go see Book of Mormon, of all amazing shows that's coming out here. And so it's kind of neat because especially, as we're changing things after the height of the pandemic, to get to do something together as an excursion and an outing that also falls into their studies. The students are just, I think, really excited to be able to participate and do things safely and smartly. And it's just a hilarious show. So it's going to be neat for them to experience that. But that's kind of a neat way for them to think about music at a higher level. So upper division while still performing and getting their kind of stress relief break that they get from being in music. And then moving on to our next slide. So we've got some really exciting co-curricular activities. 2016, 2017, we did our first one. Master Chorale had an electrical engineer student who developed a device where when you sang into a mic, it actually programmed to light up their faces, and we performed in pitch darkness. And this picture is actually them, often music choir retreats might be going out somewhere and, singing chorales together. And instead, our students, all of them, were in the robotics lab building these devices as taught by one of their fellow students. And these students here, not all of them were EEs. So we've got geologists, we've got everybody getting their hands dirty. And I was taking pictures because that's the extent of my knowledge. And but it's really neat. That kind of started this idea of doing builds with our students when they have projects that they're interested in. After that, Wind Ensemble was jealous, and so they wanted to do their own build. And so we actually created our creature, which is our Frankenstein monster. It's a marimba out of PVC pipes, and we provided them the materials for that. And then they did all the measurements and all the math to make sure that it was acoustically sound and the right length. And then we performed it on our Fantasy and Fright concert, which has kind of become our build concert as we're moving forward. So we're hoping to get that project up and going again. Even with Matthew Whitehead, we've got some ideas of things that we're going to try and co-collaborate on. And then, not related to a concert, I'm really excited that we have our first senior design project in the works with the computer engineering, computer science department. And actually there's a participant who snuck on, who's not an alumni yet, but will be. Christian Olson, I just saw, is actually able to join us today. And so this is a team of 3, including him, where I identified a need in the music education community, which is not having resource to scores to be able to look up products. And I had found, if you've ever heard of Goodreads, which is an app, if you're a literary person, you can go on and look at, you know, different books to read, and then it gives you recommendations. And then there's also like a community where you can give comments and stuff. And so what we're developing in the prototype stage is a website where we're going to have a database of all these resources of pieces that they can actually interact with. And then this would be something that if we get it and we like it, it's actually going to help the music ed community to start a conversation and keep a lot of materials in one place. And it's just exciting because, you know, as music people, we can't always, we would try and come up with a solution on Facebook or social media. And now we can tap into these incredible students who have the actual knowledge to build a computer product that's, you know, data mining and all of the things that they're doing. And so we're really excited about that. And Christian, I'm just going to give you a shout out. They've been working so hard on this. It's their full senior design project. And so hopefully we'll have some updates on the prototype as it moves forward. And then who knows, sky's the limit. We're just going to take over the world through music and computers. So that's my plot in life, but I'm really proud of that. And then also our music scholarships. This is kind of neat. This has been a project that I've been championing just as our numbers have been growing, and I've seen the need in our community for these students who are so passionate about music and arts, for them to be able to keep performing and keep creating without some of the pressures of finding a second job and all the things that they have throughout college. And so when I came in, there was 5 scholarships, about $5,000, which is fantastic at a non-major school. And then I didn't know the numbers, but this was from 2017. We had already grown through some generous donations as well. And then just this last year, so for this year of our students, we've got 30 scholarships with $28,000 of awards going out to them. And it's incredible because this is helping a lot of our upper division students, juniors and seniors, just as an incentive for them not to give up on the thing that they love, even when things get busy. And some of these scholarships are, you know, only $200-300, but even that little bit is helping them with books for classes and other things like that. And then their only commitment is they get to stay in music the following year. And what's unique about it, our donors have set it up so it's actually a retention scholarship instead of recruitment. So at a lot of music schools, what happens is, you know, if I need an oboe player, I might go out and try and recruit one and give them all my money at, you know, other students not getting to benefit as much. And what's neat about here, because our students are non-majors, this shows that they're committed to the program and they want to keep going because they've already been in for at least a year. So there's not that pressure that comes with a lot of other scholarships. It really is based on kind of achievement, passion, and drive, that they know this is something they want and they love. So my little champion project that I'm still keeping on working on. And I think our students are amazing for still staying and continuing with all that they do. All right, so we're going to talk a little more at the very end, but I'm going to turn it over to Matt Whitehead to give you some updates on art.
Hello again. Yeah, so I'm just going to quickly go over the courses that I teach. When I first started, we were teaching, or the classes that were offered were drawing, traditional art history, and then modern contemporary art history. And so I taught drawing for a long time, and I really love teaching drawing. And that class has been really fun. And I teach that class at least once a year, but we rotate through other classes now. And I've added 3 new courses based on student interest and kind of my interest. And do I switch slides, Haley, or do you? Sorry. Okay, so the first new class that I added was art appreciation, which is still an art history course, but it's a little bit more hands-on. We talk more about some of the history, but also the actual uses of the different mediums, and then students get to use them in class for different projects. And so it's a mixture between an art history course and a studio course. And I think the more kind of hands-on experience students get, I think it's just beneficial for their time here to have that sort of a from the other courses. And another course that I added was 2D design. And that teaches students the foundations of the elements and principles of design. And those images on the left came from that student work from there. And then this semester, for the first time, I'm teaching a photography course here, and that's been really fun. If you look at the picture on the right, we started the class, I blacked out the classroom and turned it into a camera obscura. So I put a little hole in the blackout on the window, and when you turn all the lights out, you can see there being projected as one of the dorms, but upside down in reverse. So that's a cool thing because it gave the students an experience of being what it's like to be inside of the camera. And then we work from there doing some traditional chemical process, darkroom style work, pinhole cameras and things, and then also digital photography. So working through the basics of photography. That's been fun. And then in addition to teaching the art courses here, the visual art courses, I also manage the Apex Gallery, and we have 4 to 5 shows a year. The gallery is located in the classroom building on the 2nd floor, which is really the ground floor. And if you haven't been in there, it's a really nice space. And coming up, we have a really exciting show, the first ever faculty and staff show, and I've been accepting submissions for that over the last week and up until the 14th, and then that show will go up, and the opening reception for that is on October 28th. We do a student show. The photograph on the left is of last year's student show. And that is an open call for any students to submit, and all the work that gets submitted is accepted. So, and I try to encourage everyone to submit work, anything that they do, in class or outside of class, whatever it is. So you get a lot of really, I love this show because you get a lot of really interesting work, from like crocheting or knitting to painting and drawing, photography, rubber band monsters, stained glass, blacksmithing. We had a sword. I've had surfboards, crazy stuff, but it's really fun. So that show happens in the spring every year. And then I've also partnered with Abana, which is blacksmithing American or artist blacksmiths of North America. And they send me a show last year we did it, and we're doing it again this year. I don't know if it'll be every year, but right now it has been. Last year's show, you can see the picture on the right, was a show called 150 millimeter challenge, and they sent 400 pieces of steel that were the same size and length to different artists across the world. And they selected, out of those submissions, they selected 150, and that show traveled, and that's they could make whatever they wanted with that. And we actually did that project with students with the blacksmithing club, and that was a success as well. In the spring, we have Cloverdale Forge, a blacksmith named Matt Jenkins, who happened to have gone to school for mechanical engineering, but is now a blacksmith artist. He is having a show that will open to start the spring semester, and they'll be, him and his wife will be in town doing workshops and demos from February 1st through the 3rd, and there will be an opening reception on the 3rd for that show as well. And the student show will happen in March, spring semester. So I think that's, yeah. So one thing that when I first came here, the classroom building had these old art posters up on the walls, and a lot of people were, they were fine posters, but people were kind of tired of seeing that stuff. So we came up with the plan to look through the school's archives through imagery and find images that we wanted to share with the campus community. And we've been working on this historic photography project. We've also put a call out to alumni to send images, and I did get an image of the first concrete canoe that an alum sent the physical image. I scanned it and then sent it back to him and printed that. But we've done 2 phases of this, and we're going to do 1 more. So any alumni out there, if you have images that might be interesting for this project, you can email me or you can reach out and we can add to this collection. It's looking very awesome in the classroom building these days. If you haven't gotten a chance to come on out. I think 1 more. So along with teaching and working in the gallery, I also do a lot because I think that art is so important for our students, especially to kind of get from some of the rigors of their academic classes. And so I'm trying to give art to as many students as possible. And I know that every student can't take my classes. I only teach 2 a semester. So I do workshops and projects, collaborations with other departments. I've collaborated with metallurgical and mineral industries and materials engineering, and then also mechanical engineering. I've done a little bit with electrical engineering, and I've collaborated with the Wellness Center to do bookbinding workshops. And I'm also part of an NSF grant that is the title of the grant is Investigating the Impact of Arts on Student Learning by Introducing Glass and Ceramic Science in the Minerals Engineering Curriculum. So that has been really exciting. We got that last year and we've been implementing it. So I've been doing stained glass workshops and also ceramics and wheel throwing workshops with students. And one big project that's coming up is working with the Newman Center on campus, which is the church on campus, to create stained glass windows with students that will live in the windows of that church. So that's very exciting. I think that's enough from me. So
great. Thanks, Matthew. And I'm going to say it publicly just so it really gets solidified. We've actually been gathering a few of the old pictures of the different uses in the music center when it was the old gym. And so I know there's a lot of alumni who have strong connections with the pool, with basketball games, with intramural sports. And so we're actually going to try and add, maybe that'll be phase 4, add some of those images in our place as well, because so often we get alumni who come back and just have those strong memories of this is the old gym, and we want that tradition to kind of live on as well. And it'd be good for our students to see it as well. So, all right, so challenges moving forward. You know, you can't ever have everything you want in life and all those other good things, but you know, it's great. Our numbers are doing wonderful. And our students are really engaged and excited. And I would say the 2 things that I can identify, and I think this kind of is throughout the arts. In my tenure since I've been here, I've seen, you know, a great increase in numbers and a huge increase in quality. You know, we've been able to add some targeted classes, some more auditioned ensembles, and the students, it's amazing. I love working here and working with these students, because if you give them a challenge, you know, a grade 5 piece of literature that they shouldn't be able to play unless they're music majors kind of thing, they're so smart and driven that they just gobble it up and they get so much learning experiences out of that. And so the great thing about that is our quality, even with some COVID, is really getting up there. And so we're starting to see some opportunities to do more things with our students. that can kind of benefit them and the university. We went from having 2 students invited to intercollegiate band to having 13 last year. And that's competing with all of their peers that are music majors across the state. We have some invites pending to take our students to perform at different state conventions, and some of that excitement that really has come from the quality. And on top of that, we just are getting more and more and more students on both art and music, which is great, but we're now challenges, keeping them all with high quality instruments, keeping them all, the space in our buildings, and maintaining that. I think it's just a struggle that we kind of all, it's one of those good problems to have. So on the horizon, making sure we have enough scholarships, making sure we have the right collegiate level equipment to perform some of this literature that the students are now able to achieve. And those are the challenges we have moving forward. But the great thing about it is the support. I'm going to go out and say it, the support that we get from our administration at all levels. I do want to also give a shout out. I saw that our new department head of humanities and social science, Dr. Kyle Knight, is able to join and listen in on this. And we just have really strong support and encouragement for these students to keep this part of their life going. So I doubt that these would be any challenges that we're not going to overcome. And again, good problems to have, but that's kind of where we're at with the whole state of the arts. So Shelley, were any questions pop up or anything like that? I didn't quite.
We haven't had any questions, but if you do have a question or out there, I'm going to give you a minute to go ahead and get your question out there. I'm going to share my screen real quick and show you some upcoming alumni events while we let a few people, if they want to get a question in. And so just one moment here. There we go. Okay, so again, I want to remind everyone we are recording this YouTube, this Zoom, and we'll attach it to our YouTube page. We'll also send out an email. I know some people who registered weren't able to make it today, so we're going to send out an email with this link of this video for them to be able to see this at a later time. And then we also have it on our YouTube channel for all of you to share with your fellow alums, your current students, or even just people on campus that want to hear about the fun, amazing things that they're doing in our arts and music program here at Mines. As you can see here, we've got some upcoming events for our alumni. In October, we have our Thursdays at Thursdays. We do that every second Thursday. So even if you're not local, but you come back and you're here for a second Thursday, join us down at Thursdays in downtown Rapid. We've got a couple tailgates. Our next Lunch and Learn is our MET department. Is going to talk a little bit more about some of the stuff that Matt Whitehead talked about with our art and engineering research that went on this summer. And then our next month, our digital department update is our Veterans Resource Center. So I know a lot of people are interested to see what's new over there. And as you can see in November, we've got a lot of local alumni socials starting. And so if you are in an area that is not Cedar Rapids, Iowa, or Marshalltown, Iowa, or Denver, Colorado, or Sioux Falls, and you would like to host or have an idea of an alumni event you'd like to see, I included my email in our chat, and it's also under my picture. So please feel free to reach out to me anytime. I love those ideas, and I want to help our chapters get up and going again. And then we have coming up in December, we welcome our new alumni through a welcome reception, and then our graduation is late this year on the 17th. As you can see here, we have our President's Dinner. This is just an opportunity to be a part of some scholarship fundraising that we do through the President Rankin's office. Last day to register for this is tomorrow. So if you would like to join us, I just wanted to put that out there for our alumni to see. But I did get one question here I want to throw out to you, all of you guys. This is from Jody Quinn. I had heard that there was a jazz choir, but that there is not one any longer. Can there be one in the future, the next 3 years?
That is definitely a possibility. We'll see, it all depends on, the needs of the department, our area and the number of students we have. But, I always say never. So we can definitely look into that. So.
Excellent. Thank you.
Also, Shelley, I'll put in 2 cents on that too. For a couple of our students who have been really interested in jazz, we've had some opportunities for singers to come in with our jazz band. And if you're interested, the dinner dance, which is in February, it's a 4-course meal with all the music pairings. And I haven't talked to Dr. Scheepers yet, but I'm hoping I can grab some singers for that, because the dessert pairing is about an hour, maybe a little over, like World War II big band swing dance kind of thing. You don't have to dance, you can just watch other people too. But we always use as much of that wonderful old vocal jazz and jazz band stuff as well. So maybe not the full jazz choir in the immediate future, but definitely want to get some of those singers involved.
Excellent. Thank you, Dr. Armstrong. And I want to thank all of you, Dr. Armstrong, Matt Whitehead, and I'm sorry for slaughtering your last name, but Dr. Scheepers. Oh, I tried my best. Sorry, sir. Okay, good. I want to thank you for your time and for what you do for our students on campus. My student that's on campus is being touched through your guys' program, so I appreciate it. And I appreciate everything that you do for all of our students. Thank you for sharing with us today what is happening in your departments, and thank you for everyone who attended. Again, I'm going to send out a wrap-up email so you can share this with your fellow classmates and share it with anyone that would be interested. I know, like I said, there were several people who had registered weren't able to make it, so we'll get that to you. Thank you guys very much for your time today, and have a great Thursday. Bye-bye.